So this presentation is about SEO for consultants, how to write thought leadership that attracts clients on autopilot. By SEO, I mean search engine optimization, which I believe is the best marketing method for consultants. In this presentation, I'll tell you why that is and also how I do it. So what you'll learn from this presentation: how to find the data on what your prospects are searching for, how to write and edit content that ranks on the first page of Google, how to publish and promote your article to generate traffic, how to turn that traffic into conversations with your prospective clients, and most importantly, how to turn your consulting website into a lead generating asset. So why listen to me? Writing content marketing and SEO is really the only marketing method that I actually do. I've written hundreds of articles for both myself and clients. I've ranked many of them first for competitive keywords. SEO is responsible for 90% of my own website traffic, and I firmly believe that SEO and thought leadership is the best marketing method for consultants, which I'll get into here shortly. Here's an example of one of my top ranked articles on best consulting websites. So with this article, I outrank Wix, which is a billion-dollar company with over 3,000 employees. I'm a company of one, and I was able to outrank their website with my article because it's a better article. So that's what makes SEO so powerful, is that you can generate automatic organic traffic and outrank major competitors just by having more expertise and communicating your expertise better, which I'll teach you how to do in this presentation. Here's some more proof. This presentation is a video version of my article on SEO for consultants, and I use this process to rank it in spot number 2, and I know that in a few months or so it'll rise up to number 1 because of the strategies that I'm going to talk about in this video. So what is SEO for consultants? SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's basically the process of how you rank your website on the first page of Google. If you get in the top 3 spots, you'll get much more traffic, and that's where the real value is out of SEO. So essentially, Google wants to serve their users the best content, and the best content generally ranks first or highly, or at least on the first page. And unlike other business owners, I believe that consultants can write the best content because, by definition, we're experts on our subject matter, and we communicate with precision and with expertise when we're speaking with our clients and when we're working on projects. And writing is just another form of that, right? We're sharing what we know, we're communicating what we know in the written form, and we're just talking about what we know best. So that's why it's such a powerful method for consultants, is because I don't know of any other business owner whose business relies on them sharing their expertise as consultants, and writing is just a crystallized form of thinking, which is what we do for work. So as subject matter experts, it's up to us to demonstrate that we are experts. And one of the best ways to do that is through writing, especially when we're speaking about SEO, where we're ranking written articles. So let's talk about the cons of SEO first. SEO is one of many marketing methods, and every marketing method has its trade-offs, right? So you can play the cold email or cold calling game, but that's just it's kind of a numbers game. So it's not really super predictable. It's uncomfortable. Pay-per-click ads, for example, cost money, and they tend to convert at a lower rate. Social media puts you at the mercy of algorithms outside of your control. And for SEO, it's very much a long-term game. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, and I don't think there's a such thing as that, especially when it comes to marketing. But despite its trade-offs, long-term game, it requires your input and expertise. It does take work, and it's tougher for early-stage consultants. But despite the trade-offs, I still believe it's the best marketing method for consultants. And here's why. So SEO creates massive leverage. You can write an article once and it will generate traffic and leads for several years. My Best Consultant Websites article I wrote in 2016, and it still generates thousands of visitors per month. So that's a great example of writing something to create leverage for your business. SEO traffic converts at a much higher rate. By sharing what you know, clients will begin to know you, like you, and trust you based on the value you create for them, and they'll be much more likely to reach out to you for help. I'm sure that if you go to Google and you type in something, you're probably going to skip the ones that say ad or paid ad because someone just paid to get to that top spot. You're much more inclined to trust the top organic spot because you can't just pay to get there. Your content actually has to be good. SEO forces you to write, and I know that might be uncomfortable for many of you, but writing is one of the best things you can do for your business. You'll create marketing collateral that you can use in your follow-ups and sales calls to test out new service ideas. It's like the ultimate creation tool for consultants and people and knowledge workers. So it's very, very powerful when you do write. And I think the pros far outweigh the cons, especially when we're talking about what we can do and the best usage of our time to create value and market our business, our services, and our products. So next we're going to get into my process on how I do SEO for consultants to minimize these cons and maximize the pros and to make it as easy as possible for you. So step one of my SEO process is research. So what we're thinking about here is, what are my prospects typing into Google? Looking at the results of that data, and then finally picking a keyword to write about. So I'll bring up the tool that I actually use for this. It's called Ahrefs. And let's imagine that I am a sales consultant and I want to understand what my prospects are typing into Google. I use a tool like Ahrefs to find those keywords and to see the data on, how many people are searching for this per month. What countries are those searches coming from? What's the competition like? What's the current top 10? All of these things I'll have to analyze in order to pick the right keyword to target. So I'm going to just pop in sales consulting here, see what comes up. So sales consulting, we see that this has a keyword difficulty of 22. We see a traffic potential of 500. So if I'm able to rank first for this keyword, I will get 500 visitors per month. Here we see some average monthly number of searches is 600 for sales consulting. We see other related keywords: sales tax for consulting services, sales consulting firm, consulting sales, sales consulting firms. We see the current top 10. And here we see the data on our competitors' websites. Backlinks being how many links they have pointing to their article, their domain rating, their overall authority in Google's eyes. So what I'm looking for here is I'm paying attention to a couple of numbers. I'm looking at how many people are searching for this keyword per month. Global volume, so 4.4K, which looks really good. I'm looking for the keyword difficulty. Is this less than 20, less than 25? This one's just right around my maximum difficulty I'll usually go for on a lower ranking site. So this is definitely in play and it's a good keyword to target. Of course, I'm looking for, do I have genuine expertise on the topic of this keyword? In this example, as a sales consultant, this is exactly what I do. So I do have the expertise in sales consulting. Am I actually excited about the prospect of writing the best article on the internet on this topic? I think that's really important. Writing isn't the easiest thing in the world. So you want to find something that you're passionate about and you're interested in and that you can use to create value. So you need to choose a topic that you're excited to actually write about or explore or think about it at the very least. And does the keyword also connect to the services that you offer, right? You want to write about problems or subjects or queries that naturally link to one of your services. So if you write an article on sales consulting, as a sales consultant, you're going to have a sales consulting service as well. This is just a very easy example, but that's the kind of thing you want to think about. Another example is my article on Best Consultant Websites. I offer a free course on how to create your own best consulting website, right? So it's a very natural next step in my marketing funnel. So you want to think about all these factors when it comes to actually picking an article to write about. So here's my SEO keyword research checklist. This is what you do as you're doing your research. I just went over these 5 points, but if you have all of these checked off, then you will add this. You will write an article on the keyword that you've done research on. And if I'm building out a content calendar, I'll do this for dozens of keywords. So we have our keyword, and our keyword is sales consulting. The next step is to outline your article, and you want to think about what you want your article to accomplish. My favorite way to do this is to look at the current top 10, and this will tell you what Google is ranking in the top 10. So sales consulting looks like a sales consulting either article or sales page. Best sales consulting providers. This is like a list post of sales consulting providers. The complete guide to starting a consulting business article. B2B sales consulting services. Landing page, article, landing page list. So there's a good mix here, right? You can kind of rank this. You can kind of rank a page, a post, whatever you want, as long as the content matches searcher intent. And searcher intent in this example isn't super clear. Some searchers are looking for articles, some searchers are looking for lists, some searchers are looking for sales consulting landing pages. So for this particular example, I would go for an article, just because you can rank with any sort of type of post here. But as a sales consultant, and you're writing an article on sales consulting, I would do something like the ultimate guide to sales consulting. And essentially what I want my article to accomplish is to outline for the buyer how the sales consulting process works, what results they can see out of it, how to hire a sales consultant, everything someone wants to know about the topic of sales consulting. Could technically be a landing page, but I prefer articles just because they're naturally not perceived as salesy, even though you can include sales elements in the article. So you think about this from a high level, and then you create a skeletal structure. You want to think about your article as a book, and the chapters are what's called H2 tags, and you want to think about the chapters of your book, meaning the chapters of your article. A really, really easy skeletal structure that you can use for many different articles is 5 W's in how, who, what, when, where, why, and then how. So you can use this for our example of sales consulting, and I'll get into that next. But outlining makes writing so much easier. Once you have a really, really good outline and you have those chapters in place, you'll find it much easier to actually sit down and write, because you're putting constraints on yourself and you're getting rid of that blank page syndrome. So for our example of sales consulting, this is what I might do for sales consulting. The title could be The Ultimate Guide to Sales Consulting. Intro. The second chapter, what is sales consulting? The benefits of sales consulting. How sales consulting works. Sales consulting case study. When to invest in sales consulting. An action step. And what I do to guide my writing is I'll put a word goal, and the average article that ranks in the top 3 has around 1,500 to 2,500 words, somewhere in that range. And if I stick within this framework, I'm going to hit that target. And 250 words, when you break an article down, it makes it very, very easy you could write this section on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then basically in 7 days, you've written a high quality, 1,500 word plus article for your business and for your consulting website. And this outline covers everything someone needs to know about sales consulting. After they read it, they'll understand all of this about sales consulting. And then you can imagine if you're a sales consultant, there's many, many opportunities here for you to introduce the reader to your services. It's just a very natural step. But we're giving them information. We're not necessarily selling them. We're just explaining to them the value of sales consulting, how it works, an example, when you might invest in it. All this stuff is very, very helpful to the reader and helps inform their purchasing decision about sales consulting. So this is how I might outline this article, and I've done many articles in this format that have ranked number 1. So step number 3 is to actually write. We have our keyword, we have our outline, and now we want to actually write the article. And I'll share what's worked best for me here. The mindset you want to have when you write is to simply share what you know, right? We're consultants, we know our subject matter well, and when we forget about quote unquote writing and we just think about sharing what we know, I find that as a very helpful reframing of writing. I only write first thing in the morning. I think this is when my brain is most fresh. Likely it is for you as well, but some people prefer to write at night. But you want to pick a time where your energy is highest. Before you check your email, before you check LinkedIn, get your writing out of the way first, and that'll make it as easy as possible. Use the Pomodoro technique, so write in 25-minute chunks. I do no more than 3 Pomodoro per day. I don't know of many people who write focused writing for more than 3 hours. I think that's excessive, and that's probably for professional writers. But if you spend, an hour or even 25 minutes with deep, focused, undistracted writing, you could bang out way more articles than you think. And do not write and edit at the same time. This is something that many consultants are guilty about, perfectionists. We'll be writing, and as we write, we say, oh, that doesn't sound good. We go back and edit. But you want to break it up into 2 distinct phases. You want to write, get your thoughts on the page without a filter. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, nothing. Just get your thoughts on the page. And then once that's done, take a day off. And then the day after that, that's when you begin to edit. But if you try and do both at the same time, you'll basically just trip up and slow your progress down and, not really publish anything and ship things. So it's super important to write and then edit. Those are 2 distinct steps. It'll be much, much easier when you do it this way rather than trying to do both at the same time. Just give it a try. So the 4th step is to edit. So this is where we really polish our first draft and make it read well. Make it clean up the language to make it easy for your prospects to understand and get value from. We're not trying to sound smart. We're trying to be clear. That's the biggest. That's the biggest mindset you want to have when you are editing, to cut out the fluff and to make your text very easy to read. Now, a good example of how to do this is actually a tool that I use called Hemingway app. Very powerful tool. What you want to do is shoot for a readability score of grade 9. That doesn't mean your readers read at a grade 9 level. It just means that, these readers, your ideal clients, don't really know you, like you, or trust you yet. And they're not going to want to spend a ton of mental energy to read your article. So when you edit to make it very simple and very clear, you're doing the work for them and you're making it simple to understand, which of course increases the chance that they read it, they get value from it, they check out more of what you have to offer, and that they eventually reach out to you for a call. They have to expend less energy to read your article when you have done the good job of editing it. So Hemingway app makes it very simple to do this. I'll actually pop in a bit from my own article. So this is my subsection on editing in my article on SEO for consultants. And you can see here, there's a grade 5 readability score. So I'm talking about a complex subject, but I've done the work to edit my article down to a grade 5 readability score, meaning a grade 5 person could read this article and understand it. So I've made this very simple for my readers to get it, how it works, how editing works, and you want to do the same for your articles. Step 5 is publish and promote. So I like to break this down into 3 stages. This is how you actually get your article out there and generate traffic using it. On-page SEO is what you do right before you publish. So it's things like having your keyword in your URL. So for example, my article on SEO for consultants, the URL is tsavo.com SEO-for-consultants, right? So we have that keyword in the URL. We have the keyword in the title. We have different H2 tags, those chapters that I talked about. So if SEO for consultants is my book title, I have chapters, what is SEO for consultants, pros and cons of SEO for consultants, 5 must-have SEO tools for consultants. So I'm including SEO for consultants in the chapters of my book. All of these signal to Google what your article is about. They make it easier for your article to understand, and they increase your chances of ranking highly. Step 2, distribution. This is what you do the week before you publish. So this is blasting out your article as far and as wide as possible to generate that initial onset of traffic. Examples of this include writing an email to your list, telling them about the article, adding your article to your automated email series, writing a LinkedIn status post to promote your article, sending an email to the people in your network to ask them to share your article, using parts of your post to answer relevant questions on Quora, building links, so building relationships with people in your industry who run websites who target the same audience, and then sharing your article with them. Very important SEO aspect. Creating a video version of your article to put up on YouTube. That's what I'm doing right now. Direct outreach, using your article in your direct outreach to essentially generate highly targeted traffic and to create conversations. So there's many ways to drive traffic to your articles, but you want to think about getting it as far and as wide as possible. Post-publication. So this is every 3 to 6 months after you publish your article. You want to continually build links, meaning get other websites to link to your website or your article. You want to continue updating it and making it better and better, and using it in other parts of your marketing. So for example, you take a small chunk of your article and you use it to share. You share it on LinkedIn. So you basically want to think about squeeze as much as you can out of every article that you write and update it, and think of it as its own little product, right? You want to not just write it once and forget about it. You want to continually make it better, get feedback, ask people about it. And when you think of it that way, as a lively, growing piece of content, then it's going to do better in Google. So I also think it's worth mentioning my daily marketing habits and the role that your article will play. So I think that as a consultant, a good way to market yourself every day is to write 250 words, to publish some piece of content, to promote one of your articles or your services, to introduce yourself to someone new in your market, and then follow up or check in with someone in your network. And your article can play a role in each of these 5 daily marketing habits. If you want to break this process down, you can write 250 words per day. You can publish a short piece of your writing from one of your articles, so you're not even writing something new. You just copy and paste one of your articles into LinkedIn, you break it down into a small chunk and you share it. Things like that are ways you can repurpose your article and get more out of it and use it in every aspect of your marketing. Here's a good case study I like from Jake Jorgensen, a client he worked with. So when they had no content, they would just try and book meetings. This was a consulting, I think it was a Salesforce consulting business. They would just try and get meetings using cold outreach. But then they started to write content. So they would book a meeting, and then after that meeting, they would send content to follow up. Then they would win more projects and book more meetings. And they basically used their content to help book meetings instead of just trying to book meetings without any value, or just follow up. And this really boosted the amount of revenue they're able to generate. They generated $500K from a single article. They traced back $500K worth of consulting business to a single article that they used, not even for SEO. This was just for follow-up and sales. So in the short term, you can use your articles to book meetings, to book calls, and to generate consulting clients by using it in your direct outreach. Now, long term, the article ended up ranking on the first page, where that's when it began to generate traffic and leads on autopilot. By on autopilot, I mean that, if 500 people are searching for SEO for consultants per month, a certain percentage of those are going to click on my article, right? Without me having to do anything. I wrote this article on February 4th, 2022. And now people are starting to come to this article automatically on autopilot. That's exactly the power of SEO and how it works. So quick recap. Research what your prospects are typing into Google. Understand their pains, their problems, what results they want, and that'll give you endless ideas on what to write about, and getting the actual data on whether or not people are searching it into Google. Create an outline to help structure your writing. Making an outline makes writing so much more easier. Writing is essentially sharing what you know. When you approach it with that perspective, it's going to make it so much easier for you to do that, because you do this every day with your clients. Make your writing so easy to understand that a high schooler can explain it. That's why we use Hemingway Editor, and that's why we shoot for a grade 9 readability score. Use your article to market your business. Don't just set it and don't just write it and forget it. Actively use it. Take chunks of it, repurpose it, share it with clients, share it with your network, share it to everyone that you know. Ask them to share it, and always be improving it. Go in there, update it, add case studies to it, add quotes to it, add links to it, build links to it, and that's how you can get the most out of your article and use it to market your business. Do this consistently, and you'll turn your consulting website into a marketing and sales asset. You'll rank well on Google when you write good content, and then you can spend more time doing whatever you want, whether that's working on more projects, spending more time with your family, building productized services. But once you have your consulting website and you're ranking your articles well, and you have automatic traffic coming in, that's time you don't have to spend on cold emailing, direct outreach, etc. You can spend that time really optimizing and scaling up your consulting business in whatever way you please. So that's why I think marketing, or SEO, is the best marketing method for consultants. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at tsavo@tsavoneil.com. Shoot me a couple keywords that you're interested in writing about, and I can actually tell you if SEO is a viable marketing strategy for your consulting business. I can take a look at your competitors, what they're ranking for, what you might want to rank for, what the keyword research says, and you can actually tangibly see if this is something you should invest time in. I think it's a very useful exercise, so just reach out to me if you're interested in that. And I also have a service, a one-on-one workshop called Cornerstone Content, Get Consulting Leads with Your Content. And this is where we work together to actually go through this entire process and produce an article for your website. So not only will you get a highly SEO optimized article, but you'll also have my guidance and my coaching on how to do this and repeat this yourself, either you or one of your team members, so you can really turn your consulting website into a strong marketing asset, and you have organic traffic on autopilot coming in every single month. So feel free to shoot me an email if that's something that that interests you, or if you just have any other questions about SEO, let me know, and I'm more than happy to help, because I do think that this is an underutilized marketing method for consultants, and it's something that can make you a lot of money and generate you a lot of clients if you do it this way.